Hi, this is Teacher Fikri, and today I'm going to present to you parents about visual memory. So let's go. So I would like to touch on the agenda or the content for visual memory, which is the first one is what is visual memory, and then followed by types of visual memory, and then identity memory, which is the most interesting part, and then sign of poor visual memory, and then how to improve. So let's go. Right. So what is visual memory? So it's an ability to immediately recall what the eye has seen. Shows a child to remember how certain things look like. So much. So in other ways, to ability to recall the things that we have seen, or yes, what we have seen, and then to able to retrace back information from short-term and long-term memory storage about things that happen in our daily life or what we have seen. For example, oh, I remember that I saw a cat during the evening, that black furry cat. That's an example of visual memory. So there are four types of visual memory that I would like to talk about, which is visual sensory memory, visual sequential memory, visual working memory, and also visual spatial memory. All right, let's start with visual sensory memory. So information from all senses enables to remember brief period of time shown immediately are easily recalled. In other ways, when it comes to sensory like touches, smells, it's easier for us to remember what we have seen. For example, I saw durian and I remember how it smells like. And even in that moment, I can recall it as many times as possible. Like I remember, I saw this durian because of the smell. It was such a strong smell. It makes me remember the color of yellow, bright yellow, and that's an example of it. Visual sensory memory. And then visual working memory. Remember the information for a short period of time, recalling after learning the topic. For example, we want them to remember what is 1 plus 1, right? So we show this 1 plus 1 equals to 2, and then we hide the flashcard and then ask again, what's 1 plus 1? So they need to work their memory. The most important thing is the term working, to work back the memory, to work back, to work back. All right, 1 plus 1 equals to? Oh, 2. All right, good job. Or 1 plus 1 equals to? Oh, they don't remember. I was like, 3? No, let's look again. So this is uh, recalling, and recalling, repetitions. Next is visual spatial memory. Create a picture of information in mind. This is the most interesting part because, for example, uh, we tell this kid about a cat. We talk about cat for so long. So how does this visual spatial memory works? uh, Ability to recall back, to picture back the information that has been told. For example, I told you about the cat, so immediately your memory forms a picture of a cat. Maybe not as accurate as what that people say, but you can, from the way this person said, "Oh, this black furry cat," and then you try to form an image in your mind, black and then furry cat. How does it look like? So this is how visual spatial memory works. And then when it comes to visual sequential memory, remember the keyword is sequential, meaning in sequence. Remember sequence of letter, object, and event in correct order. So to memorize saya, so you know that this is how sequence of letters should look like. S and then followed by A and then Y A, saya, in the correct order. This is how visual sequential memory works. And then eidetic memory. I know that most people have heard about photographic memory. So in the other names for photographic memory is eidetic memory. Is just the same thing. But there's also another one which is autobiographic memory, which is a very rare cases. It's a very rare case for a person to develop this ability to autobiographic memory. But let's just focus on identity memory. So three things, which is seeing and then recalling and also to trace and copy. Most people think that eidetic memory is to just recall images even after image is not shown. For example, if I show you a picture of an fruits and then I hide it, can you recall back what have you seen? Because I remember on the center is red apple, and then the far left is a green grape, and then the downside left is yellow ripe banana. So that's how you recall. But there are also some of the research that uh, they want to prioritize the criteria of a person to have eidetic memory is which is seeing, recall, and trace and copy. So the ability to trace and copy is not something that all can do. So that's how eidetic memory should work. You can see the image even the image is not shown anymore, able to recall the information and also to copy back what you have seen as accurate as it can be. So it includes also complex shape. So it shouldn't be just abstract but also subjective picture. So it's like feelings and all that. That's an example of it. What about signs of poor visual memory? For I think this is the most important thing that I want to talk about because if you don't know that your child is having poor visual memory, that it could affect them in terms of academic abilities or daily life routine. So yeah, the first time is difficulty to recognize numbers and letters, which is if you have poor visual memory. So can you able to recognize if that is A or it's just a round shape? So this is something that parents should take note because poor visual memory equals to they have difficulty to recognize number letters. So it would impact them in terms of reading comprehension, which is poor reading comprehension. So if they have poor visual memory, how can they able recognize letters and how can they even read? For example, if you ask them to read the Little Red Riding Hood book, for example, they can't read it because of the poor visual memory because they don't know what's that word. Is that what is this? THE or what is that alphabet? And then how does it read? The or teh or how? And then the second one is may appear lazy in written word. For example, we want them to write, but they feel as malas lah ataupun macam tak ada mood nak buat macam written work. It could be because of poor visual memory. Because remember, I talk about visual sequential memory, right? Ability to recall in a letters, number, or even in the correct order. So let's say they want to tulis the right answer is saya dah makan, but they don't remember the sequence of saya dah makan. Could be saya saya tapi dah tiba dha, makan could be MKAAN. That's an example of it. So this is how we can see signs of poor visual memory. Not just in children, but also it could be in adult. So how to improve? There are ways to improve visual memory. There's a lot, but I would like to talk about two things, which is vision therapy, which is helps to train eye and brain to work together. Remember that in other word, oculomotor system, the the ability for us and brain to work together so that if we don't train our eyes, how can we visualize things? How can we see things? Because there are so many things that we want to visualize, we want to see, and then to capture information into our short term and long term memory storage. So, visual therapy helps a lot in terms of training your eyes and also in terms of cognitive skills, such as to recall, to memorize, and all that stuff. And then recall an entire day exercise, which is to recall event happened in a day helps to improve visual sequential memory. For example, this you know that this person or your child have poor visual memory. So how you can do? You ask them, all right, what mommy wants to know what happened today. Maybe at first he couldn't remember, but you at least try to maybe make the question more more specific, like what did you eat, how did you go to school, and all that. And then doing this every day would lessen the question and more towards them retell the story from A to Z. This is how we can actually improve visual sequential memory and also other the overall visual memory. to remember to capture the information. Mommy, I remember I ate spaghetti. The smell was so good with red color of meatball and all that. So that's an example of recall entire day exercise. Just parents can do at home. So that's all from me. Thank you.